I don't give a fuck if he's 55. That's still Mike Tyson.
Mike's in good shape, too.
Oh, my God.
Mike trains every day.
Joe Rogan has announced that Mike Tyson might potentially die in his controversial clash with Jake Paul. The former heavyweight champion, aged 57, is set to face the YouTuber-turned-boxer, who is 31 years his junior, on July 20th in Texas. Regarding the significant age gap between the two fighters, he highlighted the potential risks involved in such a matchup, particularly considering Tyson's age. If a lot of people protest, they won't approve it. The thing is, if Tyson dies, see if you have something like that happen. He said this in his recent podcast. It's not necessarily carved in stone yet. They might not approve it, he added. Although this is the case, he also said that age doesn't matter when you're dealing with someone like Tyson. Even though Tyson might be older than Paul, Rogan believes he's still going to bring his A game and hit Paul with everything he's got. In addition to this, Rogan also debunked that Mike Tyson doesn't stand a chance against Jake Paul because of his age. Tyson is 58, but he's faced heavyweight champs like Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield, who've managed to knock him out.
He's had a lot of blows, and it's long past the time where most people ever fight. The only person that ever fought competitively after age 50 is Bernard Hopkins.
He's taken some serious hits in his career, so someone like Jake Paul isn't likely to do much damage. Tyson's got the experience and toughness to hold his own, regardless of what the doubters say.
I don't give a fuck if you think he's 55 years old. That guy will hurt you.
Yeah.
If Jake Paul's on the other side of the ring and he sees Mike Tyson just fucking bobbing and weaving, he's going to have a recognition.
Yeah.
He's going to look over and go, oh my God, that's really Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
During a recent episode of Joe Rogan's podcast, he discussed an interesting facet of Mike Tyson's training regimen: electrical muscular stimulation. According to Rogan, Tyson has been utilizing this method to not only recover from injuries, but also to achieve significant muscle growth. This approach offers Tyson a unique advantage in his fitness routine, surpassing the conventional methods like weightlifting. To add, Mike Tyson also got Rafael Cordero in his corner. And let me tell you, that's one powerhouse duo. Rafael's a legend in the MMA world, running the show at King's Mixed Martial Arts. He's trained some of the best in the business. And when you see him holding those mitts for Tyson, you are watching a master at work. Tyson's smashing those mitts like it's nobody's business. And that definitely says something when you've got a legend like Cordero in your corner. During the podcast, he also talked about that infamous fight between Buster Douglas and Iron Mike. According to Rogan, Tyson's corner played a big role in his downfall. See, when Cus D'Amato, his legendary coach, passed away, and then Tyson parted ways with Kevin Rooney, things started going south. He ended up with a bunch of dudes who were just hanging around, and that wasn't exactly the dream team he needed. He's basically saying that Tyson's struggle came down to not having the right people in his corner. But despite all that, Tyson's not ready to hang up the gloves just yet, even after nearly 2 decades of official retirement. Now he's stepping back into the ring to take on Jake Paul. And Rogan's pretty confident that Tyson's gonna lay down some serious hurt on Paul if that fight goes down. Rogan adds that Jake Paul is not even in the same league as Mike Tyson. Jake Paul's been making some waves in boxing lately, but he's still got a long way to go before he's on Tyson's level. Rogan's doubling down on the fact that Tyson, despite being older, still packs enough punch to knock out just about anyone who steps in his path.
Then it was like anyone could.
As for Jake Paul, he's made a name for himself on YouTube, no doubt about it. But can he throw down in the ring? Well, some say he's got skills, but there's a whole different level when you're talking about facing off against someone like Mike Tyson. Both Joe Rogan and Ric Flair, the WWE legend, have this to say. Jake Paul might want to steer clear of stepping into the ring with Mike. But here's the thing, Joe Rogan is also genuinely concerned, like many of us would be, about the potential risks for Tyson in facing off against Paul. Rogan isn't alone in his apprehension. It's a sentiment shared by many. It might seem like a contradiction from Joe Rogan's earlier stance. But hey, people can have more than one thought, right? In a previous podcast, Rogan was all about Tyson's unbeatable aura, but now he's pointing out that even the champ himself isn't immune to risks in the ring. He says that anything can happen, even if the odds seem stacked in one fighter's favor. And yes, many would think that the odds of Paul coming out on top against a heavyweight legend like Tyson seem slim to none, further saying that it would take nothing short of a miracle for Paul to prevail. But again, the possibility of Tyson getting hurt is still there. At least that is what Rogan thinks. Joe, being the insightful commentator he is, highlighted a crucial factor. Even if Tyson can just reclaim just 70% of his former glory, that sheer force and power would pose a massive challenge for someone like Paul to handle. The anticipation for Tyson versus Paul had many expecting an exhibition match, with headgear for safety. However, the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation decided otherwise, approving it as a professional fight. Surprisingly, it's set for 8 rounds, but with a shorter duration of 2 minutes each. A statement issued by Jake Paul's manager, Nikisa Badarian, clarified the intent behind the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Both fighters were committed to engaging in a sanctioned professional bout with the aim of securing a clear and decisive outcome. This statement tells us about the seriousness with which both parties approached the matchup. Since they both agreed, this means they are ready to compete under professional regulations and standards. With July 20th just around the corner, the excitement for this clash between the former heavyweight monster and the YouTube sensation is reaching its climax. Everyone's got their own predictions about who's going to come out on top. Will it be the seasoned veteran with the ferocious power, or the young upstart looking to prove himself on the big stage? What's your take on it? Please share your comments down below.